We like to think we understand the world, that the laws of nature are predictable, that history makes sense, that everyday objects like bananas or honey are exactly what they seem. But what if I told you reality is far weirder than fiction? That some truths are so bizarre, so delightfully absurd, they've been dismissed as hoaxes, even by scientists. Today, we're uncovering 12 facts so strange, you'll swear they're fake, except every single one has been verified by science, history, or plain old human observation. So grab your favorite snack, maybe not a banana, you'll see why in a sec. And let's dive into the uncanny truth. 1. Bananas are radioactive and we measure radiation in banana units. Let's start with your breakfast smoothie. That humble banana? It's slightly radioactive. Why? Because it's packed with potassium, and a tiny fraction of that potassium is potassium 40, a radioactive isotope. Now, don't panic. The dose is harmless, about 0.1 microsieverts per banana. But it's real enough that nuclear physicists actually use the banana equivalent dose, BED, to explain low-level radiation to the public. So yes, eating a banana gives you more radiation than living near a nuclear power plant for a day. Your body even contains natural radioactivity, meaning you're glowing too, just very, very faintly. 2. Octopuses have 3 hearts, blue blood, and dream in color. Imagine a creature with 3 hearts, blue blood, and a brain so advanced it can solve puzzles, mimic other animals, and possibly dream. That's the octopus. 2 of its hearts pump blood to the gills. The 3rd sends it to the rest of the body. But here's the kicker. That 3rd heart stops beating when the octopus swims. That's why they prefer crawling. It's less exhausting. Their blood is blue because it uses copper-based hemocyanin instead of our iron-based hemoglobin to carry oxygen, way more efficient in cold, low-oxygen ocean depths. And recent studies show their skin changes color while they're asleep, suggesting they dream in vivid, shifting hues. What do octopuses dream about? We may never know, but it's probably weirder than your last nightmare. 3. There's an immortal jellyfish that reboots its life deep in the world's oceans, swims a tiny creature called Octopuses dornii, the immortal jellyfish. When injured, starved, or just old, instead of dying, it reverses its life cycle. It transforms back into a baby polyp, reattaches to a rock, and starts growing into an adult all over again. This process, called transdifferentiation, means it could, in theory, repeat this cycle indefinitely. While most don't live forever, they get eaten or diseased. Biologically, they're ageless. So, somewhere out there might be a jellyfish that's been alive since the Roman Empire, silently pulsing through eternity. 4. The Eiffel Tower grows taller in summer. By half a foot, Paris's Iron Lady isn't as rigid as she seems. Thanks to thermal expansion, the Eiffel Tower's metal frame expands in the summer heat, growing up to 6 inches, 15 centimeters, taller. In winter, it contracts back down. So, technically, the tower breathes, with the seasons stretching upward like it's reaching for the sun, then curling back in when it's cold. Fun side note, the top can also tilt slightly away from the sun, because even iron gets a little lazy in the heat. 5. Edible 3,000-year-old honey was found in Egyptian tombs. Archaeologists opening tombs in Egypt didn't just find gold and mummies, they found pots of honey, that were still perfectly edible after 3,000 years. Honey's magic lies in its chemistry. It's low in water, high in acid, and contains natural hydrogen peroxide, creating a hostile environment for bacteria and microbes. Sealed properly, honey never spoils. In fact, the oldest edible honey ever found dates back to 3,500 BCE. So if you've got a jar in your pantry, your great-great-great-grandchildren might inherit more than just your weird habits. They might inherit lunch. 6. You're only 43% human, the rest is microbes. By cell count, you are less than half human. The rest? Trillions of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and archaea, mostly in your gut. This microbiome weighs about 25 pounds, roughly the size of your brain, and it influences your digestion, immune system, mood, and even your cravings. Scientists now believe your gut bacteria might affect depression, anxiety, and decision-making. So the next time you crave chocolate, ask yourself, is that really me? Or is it my inner ecosystem throwing a tantrum? 7. A day on Venus is longer than its year. Venus is the solar system's ultimate paradox. It takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun its year, but it takes 243 Earth days to spin once on its axis its day. So, one Venusian day is longer than its entire year, and it spins backwards, meaning the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Add surface temperatures of 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 475 degrees Celsius, and clouds of sulfuric acid, and you've got a planet that's basically hell, with extra steps. 8. Scotland has over 400 words for snow, and they're all gorgeous. Forget the myth about Inuit languages. The real snow word champions are the Scots. Researchers at the University of Glasgow documented 421 distinct Scots and Gaelic terms for snow, snowflakes, and snowy conditions. Flindrican equals a slight snow shower. Sneasel equals to start raining or snowing lightly. Spitters equals small drops or flakes of wind, driven rain or snow. Unbrack equals the very first snowfall of the season. In a land where winter paints the highlands white for months, language became poetry. And honestly, we need more words like Flukra, a heavy snowfall. English is too plain. 9. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the Great Pyramid. This one warps time itself. Cleopatra 7 ruled Egypt around 30 BCE. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built around 2560 BCE. That's a gap of over 2,500 years. But from Cleopatra to Neil Armstrong, stepping on the moon in 1969, only 2,000 years. So yes, Cleopatra is closer in time to your grandparents than she is to the pyramids she admired as ancient ruins. History isn't a straight line, it's a spiral, folding in on itself in the weirdest ways. 10. There's a tree that screams in the wind. On the Gaviota coast of California, a grove of eucalyptus trees makes an eerie, high-pitched wailing sound when the wind blows just right. The noise comes from cracks and fissures in the bark, acting like natural flutes or whistles. Locals call it the screaming forest. Add fog rolling in off the Pacific, And you've got a scene straight out of a horror movie, except the monsters are trees and they're just sighing in the wind. 11. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. Yes, cubed poop. Wombats are the only known animals that produce cube-shaped feces. Scientists were baffled for decades. How does a soft intestine make sharp corners? Turns out, the last 8% of their intestines have varying elasticity. Some walls stretch more than others, molding the waste into cubes as it dries. Why? So the poop doesn't roll away. Wombats stack it on rocks and logs to mark territory, so it needs to stay put. Nature's engineering at its quirkiest. 12. There's a lake that turns animals to stone in Tanzania. Lake Natron looks like a shimmering paradise, but it's actually a petrifying cauldron with a pH of up to 1.2, almost as caustic as ammonia, and temperatures over 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius. The lake calcifies and preserves anything that dies in it: birds, bats, even small mammals, leaving them eerily intact, like stone statues. Photographer Nick Brandt captured haunting images of these stone animals, frozen in time. It's not myth, it's chemistry. And it's terrifyingly beautiful. Reality doesn't need CGI. It doesn't need writers' rooms or plot twists. It's already overflowing with wonder, absurdity, and quiet miracles hiding in plain sight. From immortal jellyfish to screaming trees, from cube-shaped poop to 3,000-year-old honey, our world is stranger, funnier, and more magical than fiction dares to imagine. So the next time someone says, "That can't be real," smile and hit them with one of these facts. If your mind just exploded a little, drop a comment below. Which fact broke your brain the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who still thinks the world is boring. Until next time, stay curious, because the truth, it's out there, and it's weird as hell.